Hi, welcome, and thank you for joining our session. I'm Michael Katz, and I'm joined by my friend and colleague, Rob Jamieson. In our respective roles here at AMD, we work with software companies to ensure that key applications perform exquisitely with AMD silicon. We have some very exciting developments to share with you today, so let's get started. As a publicly traded company, we are obliged to include this legal disclaimer about forward-looking statements. Apologies for the eye chart, but this is a small price to pay for being on the leading edge of technology. So just a quick reminder about who AMD is. We make powerful computing and graphics chips that drive the most demanding experiences in industry, high-performance computing, data center, gaming, and more. And AMD has been a disruptive innovator for decades, but the pace of innovation has accelerated dramatically over the past 18 months with the introduction of 7-nanometer manufacturing, Infinity Fabric, and the chiplet design paradigm in the latest iteration of the Zen architecture, resulting in first to market in PCI Gen 4, first 64-core desktop processor, driving 8-core 16-thread notebooks into the mainstream, and most recently, the Threadripper PRO, which we'll hear more about here shortly. Releasing these technologies has solidified AMD's position as the innovation leader in compute. So architects spend every day designing the office of the future. I feel like I'm in it here, but maybe open floor plans like this may be falling out of vogue, and we'll have to rapidly change up our game in design. Innovation in technology has proven to be a key enabler in the design and the ability to nimbly move around as the market demands. And in fact, 70% of surveyed architects and visualizers noted that increased reliance on technology was the #1 change in their industry. This surprised me because it's twice as many people who said that sustainable designs were the top impact of change in their industry. So furthermore, high resolution graphics and frame rates of professional VR has driven compute demand. And even more so than graphics, there's been an explosion in data and processing, BIM data, smart building sensor data, structural analysis calculations, airflow and filtration simulations are especially top of mind these days. The list goes on and on. To handle these massive explosions of graphics and data, we're pleased to introduce you to the Lenovo Thinkstation P620, the world's first professional workstation based on the AMD Threadripper PRO processor and platform. This hardware is truly groundbreaking and by every measure offers the ultimate in flexibility, performance, and longevity. So let's take a closer look at what's inside. What I mean by longevity is it's the most future-proof workstation on the market with support for PCI Gen 4. This enables twice the transfer speed between the CPU and peripherals over legacy PCI Gen 3 platforms. This means support for the fastest Gen 4 NVMe storage drives, especially impactful when loading and saving large models. 8 memory channels supporting up to a terabyte of fast RAM. Built-in 10 gig Ethernet for firms using network-attached storage. And with 128 lanes of PCI Gen 4, the P620 supports up to 4 single-width GPUs or 2 top-of-the-line double-width GPUs and a 1,000-watt power supply that's big enough to drive them. In the past, organizations have had to select different workstation form factors and processor families based on individual workloads. The P620 changes all of that. Now, a single mid-size workstation chassis offers a range of processor options to meet the needs of every user in the organization, from the 12-core 3945WX all the way to the industry's fastest workstation processor, the 64-core 3995WX. With these options, the Thinkstation P620 enables IT organizations to standardize without compromise and realize the total cost of ownership benefits that come with having a unified platform under every desk. One more thing about 64-core 3995WX. We've noticed a trend to use expensive cloud resources for render and simulation tasks. Now that high core count workstations are accessible on the desktop, we expect more firms to bring these jobs back in-house and make better use of their capital expenditures. Being in the software ecosystem, Rob and I know quite well that the highest performance hardware is only as capable as the software that will run on it. So let's talk a little bit more about the software for the industry. So Lenovo has gotten off to a great start by certifying the P620 through the stringent certification programs for all the software companies shown here on the screen. You'll recognize especially the software companies in bold, but there are many other applications for which there are no formal certification programs. The P620 is eminently flexible there. It supports Windows 10 Pro, Ubuntu 20.04 LTS, and Red Hat Enterprise 8.2. So it's compatible with pretty much every software application that you'll need or use. Now, certification tells you that the software works, but not how fast the software runs. So we work closely at that next level with industry leaders, including here on the screen references to Epic and Chaos Group. Epic's Unreal Engine has become so popular for every aspect of visualization, and they tell us that in the past, they've had to make the trade-off between a high core count system or a high clock speed system. With Threadripper Pro, they no longer have to make that trade-off. And Chaos Group, makers of the very popular V-Ray renderer, they sum it up nicely when they say that the P620 is a render monster. And if you haven't heard of them yet, Akka is the largest BIM provider in Italy, and they're growing rapidly internationally as well. They've integrated AMD technologies into their rendering, which you can see in action on screen, and they love the raw power that Threadripper provides for both design and render tasks. So 64-core processors have only been available for a short time, and performance has proven to be great out of the box. However, there's more performance to be gained, and we work closely with software companies to take further advantage of the full power of these processors. For example, we have a strong relationship ongoing with Autodesk, and using techniques identified and recommended by AMD, the Arnold team was able to realize modest performance improvements on legacy processors and tremendous gains on the Threadripper Pro platform. But we've been at this for a while. We launched the first gen Threadripper in 2017. Early adopters were rewarded with great performance gains and enhanced productivity. But now we have nearly 4 years of engagements with software companies and end users, and the feedback has been incorporated, and it's brought us to the point of having a robust, mature solution to offer in partnership with Lenovo. So in summary, by every measure, we've delivered a powerhouse in conjunction with Lenovo. It has the newest and best technologies to give you that longevity, full spectrum performance, configurations for every desktop and every workflow, allowing IT organizations to standardize without compromise. And all of this comes with Lenovo's legendary Thinkstation quality and support. So now that you're aware of the full power of the Thinkstation P620, we can't wait to hear what you're able to accomplish with this amazing platform. Rob and I are both easy to find on LinkedIn or via email, and we hope that you will reach out and talk to us about how you can put this platform to work. We look forward to hearing from you.
Thanks, Mike, for doing all the talky bits. I think we're around as well for questions and answers after these sessions. So I'm going to put the kettle on, have a cup of tea, and waiting for lots of interesting questions. Thank you.
Sounds great. Thank you very much.